Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today, we're going to talk again about the COVID pandemic that we are currently facing. Yes, this thing is real. We've had pandemics before, but we've never had it where everybody was locked down or quarantined. This is a first for many. It came as a surprise to many people. Many economists, as I mentioned in previous episodes, they said that we were going to have a recession this year. But I know that I've definitely heard that we were going to have it later on in the year. And then myself, I thought that we were going to have it next year. Well, we were both blindsided by what has just occurred. So, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be able to update you on a daily basis, but whatever is relevant to real estate, to the economy, I will definitely try to give you guys a briefing or a rundown of what I found out. Okay? So let's begin. Let's talk about money, because those of you who are first time home buyers or who are investors looking to buy property, money is probably one of your main concerns. Well, what you can do, there is a blog called frugalconfessions.com. I'm going to give you the full link on my YouTube channel that's also entitled The Real Estate Regroup Show. Anyway, frugalconfessions.com has a full breakdown of different programs by state for people who either have COVID or who have become unemployed because COVID, or who have lost their businesses because of COVID, or people who are on furlough or who have been suspended because of COVID. Please go to that website and see what it is that you qualify for. Please do not be too proud to apply, because we don't know how long we're going to be quarantined, how long we're going to be locked down. Okay? And of course, the other website that I always recommend is needhelppayingbills.com. Now, they have a plethora of different programs that will meet your income needs regardless of COVID. You might have some other sickness, or you might just be unemployed or unemployed. Whatever the case may be, you want to go to that website as well. Now, let's talk about the stock market, because I did mention before that by investing in the stock market, that is how I was able to increase the money that I was able to put down for my down payment. Well, as you can see, the pandemic has wreaked havoc on our stock market. But I will tell you this, fear not. Yes, fear not. You see, even though the Dow has gone down, many stocks have actually gone up, particularly technology, healthcare, consumer goods, and even money, anything that deals with credit cards and what have you. Those stocks have actually gone up. And if you were to buy those right now, some of you might not even be able to afford it. That's how high many of those have increased. So, what I will say to you is this. If you do have the money, I would suggest that you invest in one of those sectors. Keep in mind, of course, I am not a licensed financial planner or stockbroker, but I'm going by what I see and also from the past. The other thing is this. You have some companies, well-known companies that have been around for a long time, whose prices have gone down significantly. Those companies, you may want to consider investing in them as well. Why? Because eventually, when we come out of this, their stock prices are going to come up. In addition, many of them do pay dividends. Now, some of them have stopped. For example, Delta. Delta no longer pays dividends. But you do have many of the other cheaper stocks out there that do pay dividends. And normally the dividends are paid every 3 months or every year. And it doesn't matter if the stock price goes up or if the stock price goes down, you still get paid. Okay? So I say to you this: the media, not so much social media, well, to a certain extent, I have seen some people on social media do this too. They get you shook and they get all into your emotions and dissuade you from buying into the stock market or from learning. Please learn how to invest. There are a lot of free resources out here that will assist you and help you, but definitely learn how to do it. Please don't be frightened away because of what you keep hearing on a daily basis. See, I know that when you hear something daily, you begin to believe it, even though you may want to stand strong. So you have to watch your air gate. Remember, it's who you're listening to. Sometimes you have to shut people off, or you have to shut the news off every once in a while, especially when they're talking about the market. And many of those reporters, they're not brokers either. They're not financial analysts either. And many of them are bad when it comes to money management as well. Don't let the suit fool you, okay? Next, the other thing that has been reported, and this part is true, is that there have been a large number of firms where there's a large turnover with CEOs. Yes, a lot of CEOs are stepping down or they're stepping out. And the media has used that to discourage you from investing, telling you, getting you all riled up, and you think, well, you should pull your money out of your 401k. Stop for a second. Let's really evaluate this, okay? Many of the CEOs who are stepping down are taking different titles. They're still in the same company, but instead of being CEOs, they're becoming managing partners. Now let's look at why they would do something like that. Managing partners do make less money. However, managing partners get more benefits and are able to apply for more grants than a CEO. The next thing is, managing partners can never be fired from a firm, but a CEO can. And then lastly, and I would say this is the straw that broke the camel's back, many states have implemented new tax laws that will increase the tax rate for anybody who is called a CEO. So that, my friends, are the many different reasons why some CEOs have stepped down and taken another title in the firm. They've stayed in the firm, but they'll take another title. There are a few that may have retired and left for good. But again, be mindful of that before you start pulling all of your money out of your 401k, and before you start pulling all of your pulling or moving money around in your stock market portfolio. For those of you who are beginner investors, that's what I say to you. The next thing that I have to say to you is this: I see a lot of people telling people, particularly financial advisors and even some stockbrokers who are licensed, who will say, oh no, this is the worst time to pull your money out. Don't pull your money out. You need to do buy and hold. Again, here's the thing. That advice is good for people who are 20 and 30 years old, who are just gotten started in the work world. But someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, someone who is going to retire this year or next year, that is not sound advice. Because for those people, it may actually be better for them not to pull the money out of the 401k, but to leave it in the 401k and put it into a cash account or an account that's similar to a cash account or to a low risk account. See, every 401k, 403b, and what have you, they're not all set up the same. There are different funds that are in them. So again, you do have free financial advisors. The one that gave me that particular advice was from the New York Public Library. He was free, didn't have to pay, and as a matter of fact, he warned me 1 week before the market actually went down. Okay. You can also go to greenpath.org, or you can go to a financial empowerment zone counselor and get advice. It's better than when you listen to, let's say, YouTube or Facebook, because the people there, when they give you advice, it's very general. It's to people of a certain age group who live a certain lifestyle. But it's best for you to go and visit someone who can analyze your personal situation and see how much you're in debt for, how much your income is, what your assets and your liabilities are, and tailor make something for you, tailor make advice for you, than when you listen to someone who's giving broad general advice like that. Okay? So, moving right along, let's really get into real estate now. So, as many of you know, you've probably heard that foreclosures and evictions were going to be suspended. But here's what I found. What is coming out of their mouths, the politicians, the HUD secretary, differs from what they actually have done and from what they actually have published on their own website. Okay, because if you go to HUD.gov, you will see that the help that they're referring to is only for single family homes that have FHA mortgages. Okay, it is not for people who have a single family home who have no mortgage. It's not for a person with a single family home that does not have an FHA mortgage. It is not for people who have a multifamily property, and it is not for single family homes or multifamily homes that are within a business entity. You see, you have to read to get the full details of who they are targeting and who they are helping. They are not helping everybody. And also the foreclosure and eviction, that suspension is only for 60 days. It's not for the lifetime of the loan or of the person renting the particular apartment. Okay? This is one of the reasons why I believe, especially now, that if you get a multifamily, make sure that you can pay off most of it by yourself without help from the tenants. Because if you find yourself in a situation like this and you're struggling, or if you have lost your job, that you may still end up being foreclosed on. Now, there are different rules in different states. For example, New York does help everybody, whether they are renting in a single family home with a FHA mortgage or not, whether they are an owner of a home that is single or not, FHA mortgage or not. Same for LA, Kentucky, and San Francisco. Please visit your states. If they have like a main information line, like here in New York, we have 311, other states have 211, or go to your state's or city's website and find out. You can also contact your local representative. They should also know what it is because they're the ones that are making the laws. Find out what it is in your state because it does differ in those states, and I'm pretty sure eventually other states, if the federal government will not help out, I'm pretty sure other states will have some influx and probably begin to develop laws to help other homeowners and renters as well. Now, the other thing I'm gonna say, moving right along within real estate, I may need to be corrected. Now, I mentioned to you guys that about 2 weeks ago, we had no problem getting rid of one of the homes that we own in Florida. We didn't have to get on a plane. We used technology. That's another reason why I think the technology sector is a sector that you should investigate as far as investing. By the way, I'm still getting letters from people who want to buy that property and the property here in New York. However, there's a realtor that I have been communicating with for a while. She also has her own podcast as well. And she's on the West Coast, and she says that where she is, it's turned from a seller's market into a buyer's market. So I say this to emphasize to you, each market is different because New York is still not, I still would say it's not a buyer's market at all. I still say it is a seller's market. But now, bringing it full circle, I met up with my mastermind group. There are people there who had purchased or were looking to purchase properties in New Jersey. Well, here's the thing. In New Jersey, they are also quarantined. All of their government offices are closed. So there was one person, she was in a closing right before this happened, right before the lockdown happened. The thing is, she can't get title until the government reopens. So she's sort of in limbo, you see. So that's what's going on in different areas. Another thing, as far as real estate is concerned, in the group, many of us are, of course, investors. A lot of people are looking to change from residential property and turning them into commercial spaces because the laws, the rent laws, particularly in New York City, is just not favorable to anybody who is a small landlord. Someone who's just, trying to have an extra side income. So there may be less and less apartments that's going to be available. The other thing is this as well. Those who are going to remain as residential property owners, many of them are now going to be looking into those who are receiving government assistance because at least with the government, you're sure to get paid as opposed to when you have to depend on an individual. So you're going to see a change in the real estate market as far as that is concerned. You're also going to see many investors There's going to be more partnerships that are going to be formed, and people are going to start purchasing more commercial spaces, buying commercial buildings, and renting them out to government agencies or developing laundries, supermarkets, strip malls, parking lots, that kind of thing. Now, there are a number of people who mentioned self-storage is good for recession. Here's the thing. I remember the last recession, and the self-storage industry was actually struggling. They really weren't doing that great. So I am not too sure about that. I mean, I haven't had experience. I just did the research, and I was researching back then. So I would say do your own research. Those of you who are into or interested in going commercial, do your own research. You may want to work for a self-storage facility first before you jump into it. Because what I'm hearing on social media and what I witnessed is there's a conflict there. Okay. As far as those investors who are into flips and rehabs and what have you, there's still deals out there. Many, though, of course, they're looking into doing subject twos. So you're going to have more people that will look into doing that as opposed to the regular way of buying property, maybe getting a hard money lender or a private money lender to assist you. There's also some issues with lenders as well. Some lenders are beginning to tighten up. Many lenders are beginning to tighten up, which is another reason why I say that there might be partners. There's going to be a lot of partnerships that's going to be developing because of that. And now, lastly, but definitely very important, what affects real estate? Politics. This year is a year that we vote. Because of the pandemic, we're not sure if everybody is going to be able to get out there and vote. And I believe certain places were shut down. Please, if you will, get yourself an absentee ballot, fill that out. It is imperative. Next, if you're not registered to vote, there is online registration at https://www.ncsl.org. You can go there and register. I'll put the full link underneath my YouTube video, which is the Real Estate Regroup Show. Voting, let me tell you, a lot of people think that, voting is not important. It doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Who you have in office does matter. They set the rules. They set the laws. Look at the fact that forbearance is in order. The fact that evictions and foreclosures has been suspended for a brief period. That all comes from lawmakers. Okay? It's mandated. You have to do it. So please don't tell me that politics do not play a role in real estate. It does play a role in real estate. Now, whether you agree with what is being presented down the pipe, that's totally up to you. But if you like who's in office and what they have done, particularly in the real estate world, then you need to vote for them. If you don't, then you need to vote against them. Please do not rely on somebody else to vote for you. That's not how that works. And then next, the other important thing that has to be done is the census. And this year, you can do the census online. Thank God you can. Please fill that out, because redistricting is based on population. And when you don't fill that out, you run the risk of your neighborhood being gentrified. Number one. Number two, as far as how much money gets allocated to your neighborhood, that also depends on the census, you filling it out. The more people that they see is in a particular area, the more money that particular area receives, the more aid that particular area receives. And normally the bigger areas will get more than the smaller areas. Well, as far as population is concerned anyway. So those two things are extremely important, especially this year. Please stand up and be counted. Look at all of the events that have occurred, particularly right now, and please make the best of it. So folks, that's all I have for you for tonight. Hopefully this information has helped you and you will take it and make smart financial moves. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one, sometimes many. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.